Hi, YouTube family of believers. This is Daughter of the Most High. Tonight I'm going to be talking about making preparations for the near future. There are concerns about weather, especially those of us that live in the northern part of the U.S., which I do, Midwest, and so war and weather. And we're going to be talking about what we can do to prepare. It was about a month ago, and I came across Glenda, and that's Glynda, Glenda Lomax, Lomax, and I came across one of her videos. I did not know about her YouTube channel, and her video, Deadly Winter Coming, that she posted on September 21st. And I'm going to play a little bit of it. She has gotten a word from God regarding a deadly winter coming. She does state where she lives. I think it's Tennessee, but I haven't listened to it for a while, but I have listened to it probably, 3 or 4 or 5 times. I always listen to anything that really impacts me several times. It's just how I am. And so I'm going to play a little bit of her video.
The Boy Scouts say, the guy who founded them said that a Boy Scout should never be caught unprepared. I think that's a pretty good motto. I don't know how easy it is to live by, but it's a good motto. Okay. I did a podcast not too long ago, I think about 6 or 8 weeks ago, where I told y'all that the Lord had been giving me something over and over and over again. I'd be walking around my house cleaning or something. I have to clean house a lot. This is a big house. It's an old house, so it's dusty. I'd be walking around my house and I just kept hearing deadly winter, deadly winter, deadly winter. Just those 2 words just kept repeating, and I'm like, where did that come? It wasn't anything I heard on television or the radio. It wasn't anything anybody said. It just came out of nowhere. So I was praying. I was like, Lord, what is that? What do you mean by that? Is that you? It would not stop. I prayed. I couldn't get any more details about it for whatever reason. And after about 3 or so days of it, I decided that I would share it with y'all on an upcoming podcast, since it was obviously some kind of warning. And the minute I shared it, it stopped. So it was a warning. But I have continued to pray about it. It is weighed heavy on my mind. I said, Lord, the sheep need details about this. They can't prepare if they don't know what's coming. And if there's a deadly winter coming, they need to prepare. They need to get ready. We all need to get ready. And I said, is this an icy winter, or is this an earthquake event in winter, or what is it? What are we talking about here? Please give me some words or give me something. And I've been praying this like every day. And I said, we need to start getting ready. And he showed me right away that only about 50% of the people would even act on the warning when they heard it. So about 50% of y'all that hear this are going to act on this warning, and 50% of you are just going to kind of blow it off and go, yeah, whatever. I saw very severe consequences for those who don't prepare for what is coming. I saw deaths, I saw near deaths, I saw starvation, and I saw deaths from the cold.
She goes into a lot more detail, and she actually does a second video because a number of people, of course, were alarmed and afraid and wanted to prepare. And so there's a second video. I don't have that right in front of me. I do have YouTube open here, but I don't have her second one. But if you go to her page, Glenda Lomax, Glynda, and then Lomax, Lomax, you can find these severe, or rather deadly winter coming videos. There's 2 of them. And my guess is she'll probably end up doing a third just to help prepare people. So anyway, I came across that and I was like, thank you, Lord. I am one that doesn't have a lot of extra money to put toward preparations for something that I'm not even sure is going to happen, or if what's going to happen in our state. Now, I do live in the Midwest, and we do have harsh winters here. And so I'm figuring, well, if there is going to be some serious winter weather coming, it's probably going to happen in my state. So I've been praying about this and trying to begin preparing for it. Again, the difficulties are financially. So I get paid every other week, and I'm trying to do some things every other week. And I also have a small townhouse, and my 2 kids live with me and our 2 dogs. So we are like outgrowing this townhouse, and now I'm getting like bins and different things so that I can start, um, making preparations for things that we're going to need if, in fact, this weather or war, it looks like weather, but weather or war, that we have some things that we're going to need. So I'm going to go through some of what I am preparing just to help you so that you can prepare for yourself and your family. So I was going to actually do some house cleaning, and I have some extra blankets, older blankets that I don't really use anymore. And I decided to wash them up and just keep them just in case the heat goes out and my heat preparations run out or something like that. So I have a stack of extra, kind of older blankets that I haven't used. And I'm somebody that doesn't like a lot of junk around or a lot of clutter and things. And so I really wanted to just get rid of some things. And I just decided I better wash them up and fold them up and keep them just in case. I need them or a neighbor needs them, or depending on what happens. So extra blankets. So let's start there. And then I'm also going to buy a heat source. And I have looked on YouTube for different heat sources. And I've decided to go with, it's called a Dynaglow kerosene heater. It's $140. And you can get it online. You can get it at Lowe's and maybe other hardware stores, but there's a Lowe's right by me. And I actually stopped in there today to see if they had them, and they do. And I'm going to have to buy, there's 2.5 gallon, I think it's K1 or 1K kerosene. I am not familiar with this stuff. I don't even camp. So I don't know how to, prepare for, disasters or even camping. But they have 2.5 gallon jugs that are like $25-$26 a piece. And I have looked up the Dynaglow, and if our power goes out and I don't have access to YouTube, I have to know how to fill this thing, how to light this thing, how to maintain this. So I'm actually going to write down those directions from YouTube for when the power goes out. And I'm going to need to use it, and I'm going to, if it happens for, let's say it happens for 3 or 4 weeks that we don't have power, I mean, I'm going to have to heat my home or we're going to freeze to death. Not my home. I'm going to heat a room in my home. That's going to be our life if that actually comes our way. And in fact, happens and the power goes out and if the water goes out and all that kind of stuff. So I am going to buy that. And I do get paid on Friday. So I'm going to start buying I'm going to buy the Duraglow kerosene heater, and then I'm going to start buying kerosene. And I don't mean to be like resistant or negative, but hauling 2.5 gallons of kerosene, from the store into my car, into my house, and then finding places to store it in my garage and doing, the heater's one time, but the kerosene is going to be a few times. So I'll fill up a cart, probably six of these, and then haul them home and then, do it again. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to need like maybe 30 of these 2.5 gallons. I'm not sure. So that's 30 times $25. And I'm going to have to do it, over the next few weeks. My guess is if this weather is coming, today is 11/11/19. It's going to be coming in either December or more likely January is my guess. possibly February. Our coldest month of the year is January. So, but sometimes it does roll over into February and sometimes it starts early in December. So I've got to start getting prepared. I listen to God's handmaiden and she has given so many warnings. Her warnings from God are more of the war type preparations, just meaning that we have to have food and water and candles and some way to light our homes if we are, attacked, bombed, whatever's going on. But she has also heard about the weather warnings. Glenda has heard from various people that have confirmed her word from the Lord that we're going to have this deadly winter. Either way, whatever happens, there's been so many disasters going on, and we have to have at least some preparations. Depending on where you live, depends on what preparations you're going to need. But we all need water and we all need some non-perishable food so that we can at least get by for a little while. And especially our kids, and if we have animals. I mean, we have to, as adults, I feel like we can, my kids are adults, but they're young adults. We have to be prepared, for these things. So I'm going to get that kerosene heater. I'm going to get the big gallon jugs, 2.5 gallon jugs of kerosene. And I bought this stove probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I will show you if you're familiar with this little camping stove. This is for those of you that are campers. You're going to know about this, a little folding stove. And you see that little heating element in there? I bought some of those, Camp Heat. And my daughter works at a golf club. Oops. And she says they, of course, use these to keep the bin, or not bins, that doesn't sound right, the buffet food, warm. So, of course, people are familiar with these things. So, I bought that so that I can heat water and soup and maybe a hamburger or a piece of chicken or something, because I feel like we all need protein, and we have to get our protein, and we can, maybe heat up green beans, corn, carrots, something in there. So, simple meals to just get by. I also bought canned fruit. I like mandarin oranges. Some people like fruit cocktail, whatever you like. And you can get some fruit, get some veggies, and we've all got to have some sources of protein. Now, we can also get protein from nut mixes like almonds and cashews and deluxe nut mixes and trail mixes and all of that kind of stuff. So, but I mean, yes, we could live on nuts for a month if we had to, but most people are going to want a can of soup or some green beans and a hamburger patty or something over that time. And I also bought vitamins. I am buying soups and just different things. And I bought this big like Tupperware type thing or plastic bin that I can store this stuff in. And when I go to the grocery store, I also bought instant coffee. I am a coffee drinker, and if I did not have coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, and I have 2 cups in the morning and 2 cups later on, like 5-6 hours into the day, I would get a horrible headache probably for the first 3 or 4 days. It's literal withdrawals. So, and I just enjoy coffee. And if I'm stuck in my house, in one room in my house, I want to have a cup of coffee. So I did get some Folgers coffee, instant. I have tea bags. I'm also going to buy like pop, and I also drink bubbly. I think if we're stranded in our homes, there's going to be food that is survival food, and we're also just going to want to have a bowl of popcorn and a Coke, or like a little treat type thing once in a while too, and that's okay. I'm going to buy some bags of already popped corn. and chips and just different things like that that maybe aren't as nutritious, but we eat like that sometimes. And to be able to at least have a few different things to have. If, say, for example, this, I'm thinking, okay, if this happens, is it going to be a week? Is it going to be 3 weeks? Is it going to be a month and a half? How bad is this deadly winter and how long is it going to last? And then we have to start rationing if it does continue. So we got to be careful there too. I saw these on clearance tonight at Walmart. So I just bought these. And those are those little stick up lights that you can just, put in your wherever you are, whatever room you are. If you have no lights, and yes, we all have candles. I'm going to buy more candles. I have tea light candles, and I have these lights just so that we have some options, over that time. I have been buying gallons of water already. I probably have 10 or 12 gallons stored. I need to do another water run, several water runs, because water is going to be used to drink. It's going to be used to make coffee and tea. We are going to have to clean up a little bit. Not that we can bathe, but that we're going to have to wash up a little bit. Or our skin's going to break down, especially in certain areas that tend to get dirty. And so we're going to have to be able to warm a little bit of water and wash up and rinse ourselves a little bit. We are going to have to find ways. If the water continues running, we're going to be okay. Even if it's just cold water. But as far as any kind of bathing or, if the water does go out, we will have to find a way to manage our daily eliminations. And so, if we were to have some type of plastic, almost like a garbage can type thing, or maybe empty the water out of our toilet bowl and then line it with garbage bags, we could, collect our waste and then, put it outside or put it in the garage or something, depending on what our circumstances are. But we have to deal with our bodily eliminations every day. So we're going to need to have some garbage bags in order to do that. And of course, extra toilet paper, paper towels, different things that we're going to need to even clean up and then just dispose of. And because we're not going to be, most likely, probably not going to be able to wash anything, dry anything. If our electricity's out, it's hard to even think of that, because the times that the power goes out, if we have a storm, it's out for a half an hour. I'm not thinking of laundry. I'm not thinking of, when am I going to eat? That kind of stuff. Most of us are not used to this. Now, some people have lived in locations where they are used to it. And so they've done this before. They've had their food in their little camping things so that they can at least heat water and soup and maybe a burger or a piece of chicken or something. And they can live. They've done it before, and lived in one room of their house and heated that one room. But I've not lived like that. So it is new to me, and it's sometimes hard to wrap your brain around things that you haven't lived before. So let's talk a little bit more about the things that we're going to need. Of course, water, and then you can, of course, have some drinks that you enjoy, like juice and pop and flavored waters and things like that, depending on what you like and what you can afford. Coffee, tea, maybe chips or sweets or something like that, just for a little something different once in a while. I'm going to buy mixed nuts, trail nuts, or trail mix, big bag of almonds, big bag of cashews, or several bags. I'm going to buy crackers and popped corn and I'm not sure what else. Maybe dry cereal. My kids will eat dry cereal, like a handful of toasted oatmeal squares is what my kids will eat, just dry. They'll take them in a baggie, if they're going or whatever. Things like that are just simple and quick. We, of course, are not going to be able to do laundry, so We're going to be in the same clothes, probably comfortable clothes like pajamas or sweats or, and socks and whatever. But if you want to buy a few extra packages of things, because you're probably not going to be able to wash things depending on how long things, weather or whatever happens. So you're going to want to have a few extras because being in dirty clothes, towards the end of this, whatever happens and how long it happens for, you're going to want at least to be able to change out of some of your clothes. Extra dog food, cat food, bird food, whatever you have for pets, you're going to have to buy extra. Candles, preferably unscented candles, are best because when you're in a single room and you've got a heating source, you're not going to want any scented candles. You're going to get yourself a headache. We're going to need things to do. Now, that's not priority one by any stretch, but it would be nice to have a deck of cards, a couple of board games, books, maybe puzzle books or crosswords, or, if you're a knitter, whatever you do that doesn't require electricity and, maybe a whole lot of light, you could, read and do puzzles and play cards and pray and worship the Lord and just things like that. You're going to need at least a few things to do. And if you are a knitter, or whatever your hobbies are, you're going to want to, have the things that you need to do that. The thought of being stuck in one room for a month is pretty daunting. But the most important thing is heat and food and just trying to stay at peace and trusting God through the whole thing. I also am encouraging you to buy extras. Depending on what's going on, some people, probably many people, first of all, there's many people that don't even know, and some people that know and have not prepared at all. So if you can afford it, have some extra blankets on hand, have some extra candles and cans of soup, and a bag of, chips or popcorn or, a little extra coffee or whatever you have. If someone has nothing or very little, in their cupboards, to be able to give away some things is going to be really a blessing for them. And so this is an opportunity for us to really share with others. And if they say, how'd you know? How is it that you're prepared for this? It's because I'm a Christian and I follow YouTube videos on the end times and I pay attention to prophetic words that people are getting and the books that they're writing. And I've known these things are coming. I don't know when, I don't know how long, I don't know what, I just know that they are. And so I stored up some food and candles and a way to heat food. And if you can help some people that don't know God or maybe know God, but still, there's a lot of Christians that don't really spend time in the Word and don't hop on YouTube and check out end time, channels, which personally I love. Every day I look for who did new videos, what's going on, what are the words, and I really keep myself informed in that way. The Lord started me on this. So I can't pat myself on the back for anything. The Lord gave me a big wake-up call, in this past year about preparing for the rapture, being rapture ready, and now in the last few months, preparing for disasters. And there's people that are in disasters, in other parts of the U.S. and other parts of the world that prepared nothing. And at least if we have something simple like, water, a can of soup, some cans of soup and water and maybe cans of vegetables, you're going to need a manual opener. Most soups have that flip top, but not all. And not all cans of veggies do either. A lot do, but some don't. So you're going to want a manual can opener. I don't know if you eat dried meats or jerkies or things like that, but you may want that. I know campers know about that kind of food. Dried food and dried fruits and just different things. So, we're pretty blessed. The thing for me has been financially. I can't go out and spend, $700 on all this stuff in one shot. So I have to, like, every payday, I will go and, get food and water and, whatever. And then the next one I get, I get a little bit more. And then the next payday I get a little bit more. And so I've got a little bit prepared so far. And of course, today I did look at that heater, and that's $140. And then I'm going to start getting some kerosene to fill it, and maybe an extra wick and whatever else I need to fill it. So, and then I need to buy some more unscented candles. Most candles are so heavily scented. Now, this little guy right here is not scented. This one is a cinnamon vanilla, but most candles are so strong that if you had a couple of them burning in a room, you're going to get thirsty and you're going to get a headache. So you want to find either lightly scented or unscented candles, and it's not that easy to find. So it's a financial thing, and then it's, locating these things in the stores. All of our stores are going to get busy pretty soon with the holidays coming up. I encourage you to listen to Glenda. I encourage you to listen to God's Handmaiden and anyone else that is reporting, getting words from the Lord regarding, wars, disasters, weather, whatever may be happening, so that you can prepare for you and your family. The best way that we can prepare is to be strong in the Lord. We are living in very hard times. And it's hard to know that any day, something frightening, something painful, something difficult could be our new way of life all of a sudden. But the fact is there's so many people already living this, that those of us that aren't need to prepare just to make things better for us and our kids and our animals, and then to be able to share with others. So I'm just, looking over things around me, thinking if there's anything else that I needed to share with you as far as, food items. You can, kind of brainstorm that yourself, or, do a search online and find out what people are, saving up, because you're going to want some. You definitely need proteins, and you definitely need complex carbohydrates, and you definitely need some water. I mean, that's like the minimum. And then from there, it turns into maybe things that are your preference, things that you would actually maybe enjoy while you're, enduring some difficulty. So anyway, YouTube fam, I know we live in hard times, but we serve an awesome God. Let's be good to each other. Let's be smart and prepare. Let's honor our Lord and Savior. And I don't think we have too much longer, and we're going to be out of here. And then we don't have to even be concerned about all this stuff. But we're still here, so let's be wise. So anyway, have a wonderful week ahead of you, and I just encourage you to start doing your preparations. Thank you.